fly a million miles away somewhere, just me and you. Can we go MIA somewhere far from this bush? Let's fly a million miles away somewhere, just me and you. I don't care where we go, as long as so far, so far, so far from here. It's about time I took a little trip.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy back with another episode of Get It Together with Big Ma, starring me, your host, Big Ma, Molly B, Ma, J, whatever it is that you call me. Welcome back. It's a fresh new episode of the show. I hope you guys had an amazing week and had an amazing weekend. And as I always say, I hope that you drank your water and ate your fruits and veggies and prayed and moved your body, got closer to God, knocked out some goals, everything. I hope you did all of the things that you were supposed to do. Me, myself, I had a great week. Nothing short of the norm. I think I didn't do anything this weekend. I did have some great workouts at the end of the week with my bros, and I had a fire surprise edit um by Michaela. My honey did my honey, she went crazy with the edit. Like it was only like I don't even know how long the video was, like maybe 10 seconds. But like it was fire and it was a surprise. Like I said, I was just chilling and she said, "Hey, I made this for you." And she sent the video and I was like, "Oh, I'm posting this." And I gave her credit. So if you saw that video on my social media, um, then yeah, she did that. I love you and I thank you. And yeah, so I just been tapping in. I've been on my grind for sure. And I had a great well, Friday I didn't do anything. For the first time in a long time, I didn't do anything. Like I was home, I was watching wrestling, I was just chilling, like literally chilling, like eating some popcorn, watching wrestling. I did spend some time with my daughter after school and stuff, and she was playing Tekken. Now, if you know Tekken, if you grew up on Tekken, to all my, well, anybody, I was gonna say men, but men and women, if you grew up playing Tekken, especially if you are a 80s or 90s baby, then you know how dope the series Tekken is, and you've been raised on Tekken. If you know Tekken and Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all of that stuff. Like man, she played Tekken for the first time and she loved it, and she's good. She's a natural. You know, I showed her the move list one time and she was looking at it and man, she was tapped in. So that was fun. That was fun watching her play Tekken and stuff like that. Um, Saturday I did some laundry. Got some laundry done and I did get my groceries and whatnot. And then well actually I did that Friday. Yeah. So yeah, Saturday I did my laundry. And then me and Michaela went to the Michael Jackson movie. And that movie was pretty doggone good. And I wanted like it's not like I know this man, it's not like you gonna hear this, but like man, Michael Jackson's nephew, he did his thing on that movie. He definitely you can tell that he put in the work to portray Michael Jackson in that movie. I'm talking about from the voice to the mannerisms, the dance moves. You know, the makeup team and everybody did great on the wardrobe and the hair and all of that stuff. The cast was phenomenal. He was phenomenal. I'm glad that we went to go see it. And like I said, I enjoyed it. I wish that they would have dove in a little more to past 1988, past the Pepsi incident and stuff like that, like just chronicling like whenever he started going through the skin changes and the allegations started trying to they started trying to take him down and frame him to be a like pedophile and all of that stuff. I wish they would have gotten into that and whatnot just to see his the fact that he overcame all of that, he continued to inspire and continue to dance, and like I can only imagine still continuing to be very kind and just practicing his artistry. Like even when he died at such a young age, died at 50. And it's been like 17 years since he passed away. And even when he passed away, he was rehearsing, getting ready for a tour. It's all of the stuff that he had going on and all of that stuff. It was like, I don't know, 16 counts towards him or whatever. And they all were proved false. So like he was just continuing, maintaining his innocence and continuing to just be Michael Jackson, doing his thing. And that was amazing in real life. But then just like going back to the movie and everything, like I said, it was amazing. What an amazing tribute. And I hope his family's proud. I hope his family. feel like, it was done. He was done justice. Maybe if he was still here, I would hope that he enjoyed the movie and it felt like his nephew did him justice. Um, but yeah, so like that was my weekend, and then went to church. I'm back in the choir now, so I'm in the youth choir. Well, I'm in the adult choir and the youth choir. I'm assuming, even though I'm not technically not a youth, I'm an adult. But if they need me, I'll be in the youth choir. But this was communion Sunday, so the adult choir sang for the church service, and um, it felt good to be back, just worshiping the Lord in that way, singing some of the songs I just recall from my youth, bringing back memories, man, of just growing up in that choir, going through like voice changes and everything else, and it was such a huge choir, and it just, man, it came around full circle because I remember when I stopped singing, and I was still going to church, but I remember when I stopped singing, I said to myself like, man, I'm not. I'm not doing that again. I'm done. Like, I don't have to sing anymore. But like, I'm back, and it felt good, and to kind of be recognized for just my work in the church and how quickly I've been moving in the church, because I just want to be able to serve God in every way, fashion, or form. If I feel like He's calling me to move and go here and go there, then I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm not gonna ask questions. I'm just gonna do it and ask God to just order my steps. And that's just gonna be that. That's just how I want to continue to live my life, not only in this season of my life, but in every season. So like, it felt good. It felt good. Also, just even though my daughter does not have the desire to sing, and I'm not going to push her to do that, but I want her to be able to see me serving and me doing that courageously, unapologetically, and just not being, just taking the direction. Like I said, just obeying God, and also just trying things. So it's important for our kids to see us as parents do positive things, monumental things, things that are getting us closer to God, of course, even if we didn't think that we would do that at this stage of our life or that whatever age we are. Just glad, and it was a great Sunday, man. It was a great Sunday, and that's really what I really want to get into the, well, kind of piggybacking off of the movie. Like, it's amazing how, like, 17 years later, Michael Jackson is still impacting the world. His music is still being played across the world and influencing little kids who, new artists, new dancers, and it's like he's still here. It's like he's still here because no matter how old the songs are, no matter how old the videos are, no matter how old the dance moves are, he's still inspiring kids of all ages, all races, all genders, and pushing them to maybe sing, maybe dance, or whatever it is. And I feel like that's amazing. And the fact that they're just now doing a movie on him, a biopic of him, that just, to me, shows to his character and the way he carried himself on earth, because just like I mentioned, he has so many things and so many attacks going against him, and he still continued to put a smile on his face. And I know for a fact that that stuff was hurting him on the inside because of how he was raised and what he went through and all the struggles and stuff that he had to go through, not really having a childhood, because being in the Jackson Five and definitely, of course, being the standout of that group and eventually going solo, and just the relationship he had with his father, and man, it's just, it goes deep. And for him to just be, I feel like, the biggest pop star that this world has ever seen, and to carry it with grace and not be egotistical and wanting to be kind and wanting to just talk about being kind to each other and being inspiring for the next generation. Man, teaching the next generation. It's just amazing to know that we can carry ourselves like that. We don't have to be a Michael Jackson. Maybe you aren't an artist. Maybe you aren't a dancer or a singer. Maybe you aren't an athlete, but you can be the everyday person that works at, the 7-Eleven. But are you inspiring the next generation, especially if you have kids? I feel like if you have kids, such as me, um, like, I feel like it's an obligation we should have to teach our kids and inspire our kids, show them compassion, but also show them that even though the world will try to label us as whatever they try to label us as long as we know ourselves, as long as we keep it real with ourselves and surround ourselves with real people, then that's all that matters. And we can't control what the world says. We can't, everyone's not going to like us. People are going to definitely lie on you, and they want you to fall. So they'll try to do any and everything to cause you to fall. But at the same time, it's like if you continue to put your best foot forward, work on yourself, show up for yourself every single day, your kid or your kids that's watching, or your nephews and nieces or cousins or whatever it is, who's ever watching you, they will be looking up to you and being moved by that. They're taking notes. As we all know, kids, they're like sponges. Whatever they hear, whatever they see, especially at a young age, they're going to take that in and they're going to mimic that. They're going to see that because naturally kids copy what adults do and they think that whatever adults do that they're right because they're adults and they feel like adults are perfect and we aren't. And I try to teach my daughter that every single day because we have those type of talks. She's 10 years old. She's definitely very wise for her age, and we have those type of talks. And I tell her all the time, Daddy is not perfect. Daddy is gonna make mistakes. He's made mistakes, and he's gonna make mistakes. So don't look at me as this image of perfection, but look at me as this image of guidance, and just of course this image of just like care and respect, and just know that you can be vulnerable with me. You can talk to me about anything, and you can be definitely be like I love to say transparent. So like no matter what, you know that I have your back, and know that even when I do make a mistake, I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna keep going. I want her to know that. When you make a mistake, that's okay. That doesn't mean you're a terrible person. That doesn't mean you're not valuable. That doesn't mean you won't amount to anything, that you won't be successful, and that no one likes you. That doesn't mean any of that stuff. That just means that you made a mistake, and that's all a part of growth, and that's life. The missteps, we can take those as lessons, and when we experience those missteps, we look and we see what we can learn and take from it, and then we get back up and we go, and we continue to move forward, and we don't even turn around and look back. We got what we needed from when we failed, we made that mistake, we had that accident, and now we're continuing to move. And that's all that matters. I watched my mom. My mom used to work at the nursing home when I was a kid, and there were a couple of times where I would like go with her to pick up a check. And because this is in the old days, like she didn't have direct deposit. She used to go pick up her check from the job. I used to ride with her. She knew all of these people that were in a nursing home. Like I would watch her. It's like it's subconsciously learning how to be respectful and to be friendly with people that are much older than me, not even on my age, because we naturally gonna say hey to our friends. They're our age. We see them every day. We play with them every day, but they can relate to us. We can relate to them. So it's naturally be like, hey friend, what you doing? What game you playing? Can I play the game with you? Etc. Etc. Someone much older than us, we're not used to. We're yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. And subconsciously, like I learned that when you enter a room, you say good morning, good evening, how are you? Looking people in the eye, but also just talking with people that are older, like not just saying good morning, kind of how's your day been, and having a little conversation with them, laughing with them, letting them know like, I don't feel like I know it all because I'm young and I can do all of these things because I don't have ailments, and I'm not looking down upon you because you're older and you're in a wheelchair, or you got gray hairs, you got wrinkles. No, like I view you as a human being. I view you as I respect you because I want to be respected, no matter what the ages are, no matter what the genders are, no matter what the races are. She would be speaking to people and just talking with them and laughing with them and sitting with them sometimes. As a kid, you ready to go home and go play and do all this other stuff, but then, I started just like getting used to just sitting down with my mom and these people, whether they were up, in a sitting area watching TV, or if they were in their rooms laying down, or if they were in a wheelchair looking outside or sitting outside. Like I got so used to just being around all of these different people in different walks of life and different things that they have going on as to why they're in a nursing home, and my mom putting a smile on their face, laughing with them, joking with them, and then also the way that they receive my mom, they would be like, "Hey, Miss Deborah, how you doing, Miss Deborah?" and be speaking to me. They know me, and I'm just saying, "Hey, hi," and stuff like that. And then it translated from the nursing home to the grocery store. And I remember saying one time, like, Mom, you have a lot of older friends, like a lot of older friends, like, and I'm talking about 20, 30 years older. That was very different for me because we look at our parents as they're supposed to have, just like we have friends our age, they're supposed to have friends their age. But I just remember her having a lot of friends much older, and her talking to people much older on the phone, and they would be calling her. And I found myself as a 32-year-old man doing the same exact thing, having a lot of, I still got my circle, but I don't mind speaking to people that have 40, 50 years on me as if I've known them my entire life, and as if I've known them and we've went through things together and we're the same age and we can relate on the same level on things. And it's just like, it's beautiful to me. And I learned that from her. And I learned that, every day, I don't feel like you had a bad day. You may have had a bad moment. You may have had a bad that hour from 10 to 11 at work. That was a bad hour. Your boss was getting on your nerves, and you wanted to spaz out. But then by the time 4 o'clock hit, you already forgot about what happened at 10 o'clock. So did you really have a bad day, or you just had a bad experience during one part of your day? And all of those things, like I said, I learned from her, and just different things, like even from like my grandma. I've learned to definitely pray and praise God at all times, no matter what. You don't have to be in church to praise God. You don't have to be in church to thank Him. You don't have to be in church to pray and worship and play gospel music. You don't have to be in church. You don't have to wait till Sunday to do those things. You can do that whenever you want, whenever you feel compelled to pray, whenever you feel compelled to say, "Hey, Lord, I thank you." Whenever you feel compelled to put on some Kirk Franklin or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And my grandma used to always speak up for herself in the church, or whenever she went somewhere. She went to church meetings and stuff, and she would speak up for herself or speak up on behalf of the church. She always wanted people to feel appreciated. Our church musicians that we still have to this day. I remember being a kid sitting in church, and my grandma would propose to have a benefit program for our musicians, because she always felt like, look, they don't have to be here. They don't have to do this. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they're getting paid to do this. They're serving in the church and they're helping us out, like one Sunday out of the month. They don't have to do that. Or 2 Sundays out of the month. They don't got to do that. They're doing that out of the just the love. I call it, the obviously, the love for the game. But they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. In all seriousness, they're doing that because they love what they do, for one thing, and they're serving the Lord. And they want us to sound good, and they feel like they can contribute to that by playing instruments and teaching us songs and getting our vocals together and doing all of that stuff. So I watched her do benefit programs for them because they felt like, or she felt like, hey, we need to show our appreciation. We need to raise some money for them, just to give back. We need to get different groups from different churches to come and play songs, and so that they can just sit back and relax and they can enjoy the show, um, and do all of the things. They need to be recognized. And she did that with other people that worked in the church. She always did that. She always made sure people felt that they were loved. Like Margie always, to this day, she can tell you a story about something that happened, far, far, far back before my time. She can put you in that moment. The way that she tells the story, she can put you in that moment. The way that she paid attention to key details of the times that she was talking about, and just studying that and meditating on that, and documenting that stuff, not only on paper but just in her mind, because she remembers how it feels to be in those times, being present. That's the only way that you can even take a story and put people that weren't there in that moment. You have to be very present. You have to have empathy and emotions to be able to feel whatever it was that you felt in those times, so that you can take people with you back to that time to feel the way that you feel. Even though they weren't there to witness it, you can paint that picture. And it's just amazing. Yeah. And it's like, in terms of leaving a legacy and working, and whatever you leave here, I don't know how you serve. If you're a mayor of your town, or if you were the person that made it up out of your town to become something bigger than your town. If you're in the if you're in the movies, or if you're an athlete, if you're a singer, whatever it is that you end up doing, you can be a nurse saving lives. You can be a doctor saving lives. You can be a lawyer solving the most prominent cases in the world. What are you leaving for the next generation? Are you going around speaking to the kids and telling them, like, hey, you don't have to go this way. You don't have to go selling drugs. You don't have to be on the streets. You don't have to think that you're lame for wanting to read and wanting to go to college, or just wanting to get good grades and learn about science or learn about history. Maybe you love math and your friends don't love math. They think that it's corny. So what? Think people think that you're a nerd because you have to stay in on a Friday night and do different things instead of going out to the club. Are you gonna, like, I want to usher the next generation in to show them, like, man, it's okay if you don't want to be out there. That's all right. People gonna make fun of you. People gonna talk about you, but carry yourself with integrity. Like I said, I've watched my mom carry herself, and watch my grandma carry herself, and watch my aunt carry herself in ways that are inspiring me, ways of confidence and ways of integrity, ways of just being a light, being positive, and then also just serving God in the process and thanking God in the process. And if I were to die today, I would ask people, like, well, I would ask people, how am I ask people if I'm dead? But if I would die today, like, I would want people to be able to say, like, Jamal was a very positive person. He was a very motivational person, inspirational. He was one of the few young black men that just wanted people to live right, wanted people to worship God. He wanted people to work on their health, not only just physical, but mental and emotional as well. He was one of those young men that he was different. He wasn't out in the streets, didn't hear too much about him being out in no drama. He was just raising his raising his daughter, and he was just talking about relatable topics on his TikTok or on his podcast. And he wanted people to know that it's okay to feel emotions, positive, negative, or whatever, and it's okay to feel it, but you're not gonna get stuck there, and your past is not gonna define you. Jamal was just a solid, and he carried himself in a way that he didn't care who said what. He don't care who came or who left. He still stayed the same and continued to grow all in the same aspect. He didn't let that change him in a negative way. He was like, okay, people come and they go. Goodbye. And he continued to just let God carry. Did he fall off at one point? Yeah, he did. Did he stop going to church at one point? Yeah, he did. But he found his way back. Look at the way that he raised his daughter. Look at the way he loved his daughter. Look at the way he loved his friends. And he didn't even have a father. He didn't have a father figure. Period. Like, I want people to just understand, man. Like, you can approach life in a way that's still gentle, even though life is throwing many rocks at you, even though people that you think are going to be with you forever, they can stab you in the back. That person you thought that you were going to be with forever, it may not be so. That may not happen. But you can still be somebody. You can still be positive. You can still cultivate the life that you want to cultivate. You can't control who stays. You definitely can't control who goes. You can't control the way people treat you. You can't control what they say about you. But you can control your actions. You can control your reactions. You can control your destiny. And you can still always rely on God and remember that He's in control of every single little thing that's coming your way. What you got to do is have faith the size of a mustard seed, and that's it. So if little kids are looking at me, so if my daughter is looking at me, that's the legacy I want to leave. Of course, you want to be able to leave trust funds, and of course, you want to be able to leave like land and different things, businesses, and all of those different things. But at the end of the day, you can't trade any of that stuff in when it's time to go. So, do you want to leave things like that for your generation and the generation after that? Of course, of course, of course, you want to. You don't want your kids and your kids' to have to work as hard as you did at one point. But you also got to leave the blueprint as far as character. You definitely got to leave that because we aren't going to be here forever. And you definitely want the people under you to understand that my character, the respect that I have for people, that is definitely going to take me way further than money. My manners, that's going to take me way further than money. I can have all the money in the world, but if I don't have respect, if I don't have manners, if I don't conduct myself in the way that I should, that's gonna speak for me before I open my mouth, I'm never gonna walk in that door over there. I can't buy my way in there. If I let life beat me up and I continue to let it beat me up and I be spiteful and I want to seek revenge and I let it turn me cold, I will never get ahead. So that's the legacy I want to leave. I want to let people know that. So what legacy are you leaving? What are you doing? And even if you don't have kids, still, you never know who's watching you. You might have nieces and nephews. You may have siblings. You may have cousins. Or it could just be a stranger you don't even know that's watching. And it could be somebody you haven't even met yet, but you will. You never know. What are people going to say about you when you pass away? It's amazing what we can do once we realize our potential. It's amazing what we can do once we control our emotions. And once we decide to just do what it is that we were created to do, and that's inspire us to get the best out of life. Whatever your purpose is, all you got to do is just pray and ask God to find it so that you can find it. And then, boom, carry it out and make sure that you leaving that legacy, leaving that blueprint, like I like to call it. Leave that blueprint. Is every day going to be perfect? Absolutely, positively not. Not going to be perfect. Every day is not going to go as planned. You're going to have moments where you like, man, this ain't it. That's okay. That's all right. Nobody's perfect. But as long as you get up, dust yourself off, and try again, God's going to take care of you. And I guarantee there's people watching you. There's people watching you fall and they see you get back up, and that's motivating. Even if they don't tell you. Even if they don't tell you. But you may be the one that saves somebody's life just by your resilience. Man, I'm going to get up out of here. Yeah. Leave something behind for the next, okay? It's not all about you. Don't be all about you. Leave the legacy for the next. Leave something for the next to follow, okay? If you're a good person, that's amazing. Continue to be great. Pass that on. Pass it on. Pass it on. I hope you guys have an amazing week, an amazing start to your Monday. Don't let it be mundane. Follow me on all social media platforms at Jamal Butler, JemalButler. Thank you as always for the support. Thank you as always for just rocking with me, having my back, and you enjoying the content. I appreciate it. More to come as always. Um, yeah, man, enjoy your week. Go work out. Go eat right. Leave a legacy behind. Start now. Start now. So I'm gonna catch y'all on the next episode. I love you guys so much. Once again, thank you. God loves you, and man, yeah, this was a really good. I felt like I had to get it off my spirit. So yes, what are you leaving behind? Focus on that this week. Are you doing something special? Like I said, especially if you got kids, with the way that you're living your life right now, your mentality and the way that you move on a day to day, is it something that your kids can be proud of? Can your kids learn from that? Kids gonna copy the latest dance move. They may even copy the slang. They may even try to copy the way that you dress, the way that you walk and talk. But are they gonna copy your character? All right, y'all. Like I said, I'm gone. I'm done talking y'all head off. I love you. God loves you more. Have a wonderful week. And once again, don't let it be mundane. I will catch you guys on my next episode. Peace.